loads and loads of people are asking me, you know, what's happening? What's going on with our videos? Let me get some light in here. Hope I'm not making it too bright. And see what happens. Great. So let me keep my eyes focused on here. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing? Great. So I'm just doing this quick video because you know what? I was supposed to be doing a webinar at 8 o'clock, which was half an hour ago. And just about ready to get this webinar up and running. And what happened? Nothing. There was no platform, nothing. I couldn't communicate via my phone today. There was no phone. Phone just packed up. And as you know, I have an event in a few weeks and I couldn't do nothing with my phone, nothing at all. Couldn't touch the screen, couldn't do anything. And I had people messaging me, wanting to know more about the webinar, wanting to know what's going on, and I couldn't do anything. And then as soon as I got that sorted out, just 40 minutes before the webinar, I then now needed to get stuff done. And what happened? Webinar packed up, platform packed up. And I was just sitting here and I was ready to get frustrated. And I'm thinking, you know what? Circumstances come and they go. Challenges coming. Everything that you're doing, there are challenges that are coming left, right, center. Stuff that you didn't expect are going to happen. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling well. I was just feeling so ill. And I thought, gosh, I have a webinar today. Come on, Michelle, get yourself ready. So I'm now ready, but there's no platform. So I just said, you know what, let me use this time to just quickly share some pointers about when challenges show up. Because when challenges show up, it's like it wants to take you to another side. It wants you to focus on the negatives. I was thinking about all the people that have already registered and have taken out their time to jump on this webinar, and I was like, oh gosh, that just seems so unprofessional. All the negative things just kept creeping in, and I'm sure many of you can resonate with that. Many of you can agree with me that when challenges show up, especially when it involves you disappointing other people, that you sometimes may feel upset, you may feel disappointed, and you may think, oh gosh, I've let people down. But guess what? You know what? I said, you know what, instead of focusing on that, let me use this time to actually share something out there. So the first point that I will share with you when you're going through challenges, don't overreact. Don't overreact. I'm just taking the time to invite some people whilst I am going through this. Don't overreact. You know, because when you overreact, when you're going through a challenge, I guarantee you will make some bad decision. Mishibu, hello, Michelle, my namesake. I have two of my namesakes here watching. But yeah, so that's the first thing. Don't overreact. Don't be hasty to make a quick decision, because that decision just may be the wrong one. You might say something that you regret. And as they normally say, words, when you release them, they're like an egg that you have dropped to the floor and it has smashed and you're trying to scrape it all back up. You will never get that egg back together. So that's the first thing I want to share with you about going through when you're facing challenges. I'm just inviting a few people here. But yeah, so I was feeling a bit disappointed and I thought, God, you know what? This is just one of the things. And we all go through them. We all go through challenges. We all, hello, Edna. It's always good to see you. But we always go through challenges. And so I said, you know what? Stop and just stop for 5 minutes. Just stop for 5 minutes. Don't think about the negatives, because I don't like letting people down. I like being organized. And so I said, you know what? The platform has stopped working. There's nothing I can do about it. It is out of my control. But what I can do is focus on what is in my control. The platform to do the webinar is not in my control, but I have the control to actually do another video, something else that can encourage people. So that's my first encouragement to you. When you're going through a challenge, don't overreact. Just remain calm. Think about, what is it that I can learn from this? So, okay, I know what I can do the next time when this happens. So whatever situation that comes up. Hi, Megda. Hello, how are you doing, Mr. Brown? It's good to see you. Jaylal, it's good to see you. You're doing awesome stuff. I hope that we'll meet up soon. Didn't see at the last PSA, but we hope we'll catch up very soon. So don't overreact. The second thing that I'm going to say to you, accept the present moment. Accept the present moment for what it is. I had to accept that at this moment, the webinar platform is not working. And it's the same thing, anything in your life. You may be going through a challenge and you're wondering, okay, how do I do this? And that's when you start to get flustered. Just accept the moment. Accept that. I had to accept that, you know what? Stop kidding myself. The platform is not going to work. 30 minutes has already gone out of what I should be using to do the webinar. So guess what? Just stop, do something else. And so I said, you know what? Why not do a live video? And then I thought to myself, oh gosh, the phone that I wanted to use, the data phone that I used to do my live videos, I had it on charge all afternoon, and I picked it up and it had 1%. And I just started to think to myself, what else can go wrong? It had 1%. And I'm sharing that with you to say to you, you know what? You may be going through a challenge and you've just decided that, you know what? I can figure out how to deal with this challenge. And you've taken a step to implement those solutions. And the moment you take a step, guess what happens? Another hurdle comes. But guess what? That is life. Life is going to throw curveballs at you. Life is going to throw things at you. Don't have the high expectation that things are going to be rosy and smooth. Yes, have faith that things are going to work out, but do understand that there are going to be challenges along the way. And you know, a terminology that I learned from my pastor, he said, circumstances come and they go. So the first thing I shared with you is don't overreact. The second one was accept present moment reality. Just accept that things are going wrong at the moment. Accept it. Don't fight it. Accept it. But get the lessons from it. Get the lessons from what is going on. Get the lessons from what is going on. And something came to me and I just smiled and I just said, okay, God, I've got that. I've got that. The third thing is don't be quick to blame others. Don't be quick to blame others. And we tend to do that. When we're going through a challenge, we tend to be very quick to blame others. Don't. Because you know what? The moment you start blaming others, that's the moment you've decided to stop taking control of your own situation. By blaming someone else, you're saying that that person is in control of what is going on with you. So the moment, let me turn that around, the moment you start blaming others is the moment when you have said to yourself that someone else is in control of your situation. Someone else is in control because you're now passing the blame over to them. No. When you're going through a challenge, I want you to stop and think, what is it that I can do differently? What is it that I can do, that I can take control of and do differently? I could decide to sulk through my situations. I could decide to sulk through what is happening. I could decide to be pointing a finger. But that's not going to help me. Stop and think about a moment in your life where you have been going through a situation and you decided to blame someone else. And think about the amount of time that you have spent saying it's your fault, and they're saying no, it's your fault, and you're saying no, it's your fault. And it could blow out into a full-blown argument, yeah? A full-blown fight that you've spent an hour and a half, maybe you've lost a relationship because of that. But that time could have been used to do something positive. Yes, and as you rightly said, face the challenges with a smile, positive attitude. I like that. Don't fight, accept it. Need to write this down. Really good. Yes, please do write this down. Write it down. The first one I said is don't overreact. The second one I said is accept your present moment. Accept the reality of what is going on. The third one is do not blame others. Because you could spend so much time blaming someone else. I could spend so much time right now blaming someone else for the fact that the platform that I was to use to do my webinar tonight is not working. I chose not to. I chose to go to the positive, and the positive is doing this video right now, speaking to you guys right now. That's the positive for me, having you guys on board and sharing this message, because it just might encourage someone else that is going through that at the moment, the same thing that I've gone through. I think this light is a bit too bright in my face. Yeah, so you can either decide to blame others through your challenge, or you could decide to say, you know what, I'm going to find a way to get the positive out of this situation that I'm going through. I'm going to find a way to be able to either change the situation put some help to the situation, because now I can give positive feedback, right? Now that this has gone wrong with the webinar, I can now give a positive feedback to those in charge of the platform and say, you know what, this didn't work, that didn't work, and see how we can make it work for the next time. But if I go into the blame game, I could possibly be destroying a relationship. I could then destroy the relationship, and then there'll be no chance for it to happen in the future. You know, so many people do that. They go through a challenge, they end up having an argument or losing a relationship, and later on they realize that actually they would have gotten even further in their business, in their personal life, in whatever it is that they're doing. They could have gotten further if they had actually decided to just be humble. Just be humble and just sit it through. Thank you guys. Thank you for the ones that are sharing. Thank you for those that are sharing, because you know what? Sharing, it means that somebody's out there that is waiting to hear this message, and they may be going through a challenge, and it might just help them. The next thing that I would share with you is detach. And when I say detach, what am I talking about? I'm talking about detach from the negative feeling that you're feeling at that moment when you're going through a challenge. Detach. Find a way, or create a mechanism of detaching yourself from that negative feeling that you're going through. For some people, it's listening to music, listening to some positive music. For some people, it's hitting the YouTube button and listening to some positive speakers, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, all of those people, Lisa Nichols. Detach from the negative feeling, because the negative feeling will only bring negative thoughts. And the negative thoughts will spiral you into more of everything's going to be, well, you know this already. Whatever you put out there in the universe is what you're going to get back. If you're putting out negative thoughts, if you're putting out negative feelings, that is exactly the feeling that you're going to get back. You're going to get a negative feeling. Yeah? So my advice would be detach from all of those things. Find a good habit. Find something that you can do in that moment and recognize it. Recognize it and say, you know what? When I do this, I am able to switch from the negatives. When I do this, I'm able to come out of that negative. So, as I said, when you're going through a challenge, the first thing is don't overreact. Just remain calm, don't overreact. Hello, Maggie. Thank you, Maggie, for your help. Maggie is one of the people that was trying to help me get this webinar platform going. So thank you very much, Maggie. Thank you. And thank you still for joining us. Yeah, so the first thing I was saying, when you're going through a challenge, is don't overreact. I was saying to you, accept the moment. Just accept the reality. Don't blame others. And detach. Practice detaching from the current situation. The next thing I was saying to you, don't overanalyze. I started to think of so many things. Hello, Nadine. Don't overanalyze. Because everything just seemed... This week, I'm not going to lie, this week was a very challenging week, guys. And I know you guys are my FB family, so I can share with you. This week has been a challenging week. It started off with me receiving the message that my grandfather died. Yeah. So that was the first challenge that hit me this week. And then I had to do the same thing that I'm saying to you guys now. I'm not going to lie, by Monday I was really feeling low. But then I had to just remember and say, you know what, Michelle, I got to see him. I got the opportunity to travel back in December and visit him and spend some quality time with him. So I'm grateful for that. So I had to focus on that positive. So when you're going through challenges, find the positive things that you can focus on. Find the positive things. Yeah. So I'm glad that I got to spend that time with him. Try my best not to cry here. But yeah. So I had to find that positive. Then by Wednesday afternoon, that's for some of you that's seen on Facebook, my daughter collapsed while she was on the bus. And once again, I was very grateful to have some lovely people help her, you know, give her water to drink, carry her, you know. So I had to look for the good thing out of that. She was so worried about her GCSEs. She wasn't eating properly, not sleeping enough. And she collapsed on the bus. And And so I was sitting, I was thinking to myself, okay, so by Sunday, by leaving church on Sunday, I heard that my grandfather died. By Wednesday, my daughter collapsed. And then by Thursday, I was just feeling so ill. By yesterday, I was so ill, and I had a webinar today, and I'm thinking, God, am I going to have the strength to do this webinar today? And then, yes, I had the strength to do the webinar, but then the platform crashed, and everything was just going pear-shaped. And that is life. We have to accept, guys, that is life. So don't overanalyze it, because I started to go into the negative thoughts. When you think too much about a situation or event that occurred, you will start judging things wrongly. Yeah? You will start judging things wrongly, and you may have a difficult time accepting what is really going on, what the problem really is. You may just miss the message. You may just miss the lesson that is behind all of what is going on. So don't overanalyze it. Don't overanalyze it. Accept that there are going to be challenges. Accept. Have acceptance. Accept that there's going to be challenges. There's going to be things that's going to come. Hello, Madam Kofi. Happy anniversary. Yes, I was there to celebrate with Mr. and Mrs. Kofi, the Digging Deep team. Awesome people. And I always look up to them for the great work that they're doing. Yeah, so as I was sharing, you know what, accept that things are going to happen in life, things that you're not happy about, things that's going to make you sad, things that's going to make you feel discouraged, things that's going to make you feel disappointed, things that's going to make you feel angry. That's all a part of the emotions of life. But the one thing that I always share is this: it's not your challenges that is remembered in life. It's not the circumstances. What is remembered in life is how you dealt with it. How you dealt with the circumstance. How you dealt with the challenge. Reason why? Whatever you do in the midst of your challenge is what's going to bring the outcome. Yeah? Whatever you do in the midst of your challenge is what brings the outcome. And whatever the outcome is, that is reliant on how you dealt with your challenge. See, I could decide to get frustrated about everything that's happening to me. I've had so many challenges happening this week, but there's so many more people out there that is having more challenges. I was saying to myself, you know what, my granddad's died, and I wanted to really go into a low place. But I thought to myself, think about those people in Manchester. Those people in Manchester, there's a family that's lost a mother and a father in one go. There's a lady that's woken up today. Well, I think it was yesterday she woke up. And that's that beautiful 8-year-old girl. Her mother has woken up out of coma, and to find out that her 8-year-old girl is gone. My granddad lived till he was 89 years old. We had the hope that he would have lived till he's 90. He didn't. But guess what? He had 89 years. 89 years. So I had to take that positive out of the negative. When my daughter collapsed on Wednesday, she was saying so many things that wanted to bring fear in me, you know, and I could start looking at that again to say, oh God, another negative has happened. But then I know of someone where their son collapsed at school and he didn't make it. And that's why I'm saying to you, understand that challenges are going to happen. But the way that you deal with it is what makes the difference. The way that you deal with the challenge is what will make you to stand out amongst the crowd. That will make you to stand out as a leader. So I'll just recap some of the tips that I've shared with you. When you're going through a challenge, 1, don't overreact. Don't overreact. Don't speak before your time. Don't overreact, because sometimes you may do and say something that you will later regret. Just take the time to just have some peace. Have some peace. Just relax. And just think about the lessons. The next thing that I shared with you, I said to you, you know, detach yourself from the negative feeling that you're feeling at that moment. Find the mechanisms to detach. Don't overanalyze the situation. Accept. Have an accepting mind and heart that things are going to go wrong. The next thing that I want to share with you is do not compare yourself. Do not compare your lifestyle to other people's lifestyle. I know some of you may be saying, what is she talking about? Don't compare yourself with other people's lifestyle. so many people are stressed out because of that reason. You know, many of the things that we call challenges in life are not really challenges. They're not really challenges. We have made them to be a challenge. They're not really challenges. And they can be dealt with in many different ways. A lot of people get stressed, and a lot of people get burdened, and a lot of people get depressed. Why? Not because of their own need. And we have to remember that need, we all know need is different from a want. Want is what we want. Need is a necessity. Now, a lot of people get bogged down because they're busy looking at someone else's life, and it's now become a challenge to them. I never want to compare myself with somebody else because I am unique in my own way. And I want to believe that you have that thought about yourself as well, that you are unique in your own way. The moment I said this and I wrote this quote down, the moment that you start living someone else's life, the moment that you start living your life to power up with someone else's, that's the moment you died. That very moment you died. The real you died, because you're no longer living you. You're living someone else's life. So one of the things that I've realized, even with some of my clients, the reason why they're facing difficulties and they're going things that they call challenges is because they have been comparing their life to someone else's life. And that's not something for you to do. Don't get me wrong, you can emulate people. You can learn from people. That is how we get through life, by learning, right? But as you're learning, implement your own strategies. As you're learning, put your own uniqueness in it. But don't say you want your life to be exactly like someone else's. Do you know why it becomes a challenge? I'll share with you briefly why it becomes a challenge. And I've put all of this in my upcoming book, titled Rise Above and Believe. It's Do or Lie. I've put it in the book. The reason why it becomes a challenge is this, right? So my life is different from your life. George, as you're here, I'll use you as an example, George. Your life is different from mine. I have 3 children. I don't know how many children you have, George, but for me now to try and embed my life in yours, that's a challenge. It's a big, big challenge. My lifestyle is completely different. And I always look at the fact that many people, you want to live someone else's life. Well, not really. Many people want to have someone else's success, but they don't want to put the work in to achieve it. I have had many experiences where I've spoken to, I'll use one client in particular, and her issue is the fact that she wants to so badly be like someone else. And I said to her, you know what? You're never going to recognize your full potential. And she said, why did I say that? She said I was being rude. And I said, no, I'm not being rude. And I'll chip this in. Guys, if you're looking for a mentor and a coach, never look for that mentor and that coach to be your best friend. Reason being, that mentor, that coach is going to tell you things that you might not want to hear. They're not there to be your friend. They're there to help you get you from point A to point B. I said to her, you know what? You're never going to recognize your full potential. And she said to me, why? And I said, the reason why you're never going to recognize your full potential is because you're so busy putting your own self down. And the only reason why she was putting her own self down was because she kept comparing herself to someone else. And she was, instead of trying to take steps, trying to leap, and kept falling. And that's when things in life sometimes becomes a challenge. So that's one way of dealing with challenges. Don't try and compare your life to someone else's, because you just might crash. This week has been a trying one. But you know what? I enjoyed doing this video. I enjoyed doing this video because it's put me in good spirits. And that is what I'm talking about. Doing something that will put you in good spirits even though you're going through a challenge. Some of the things I can share, somebody was saying to me, share some of the things that puts me in good spirits. Listening to music. I love my praise and worship. I love listening to Sinak. She's an awesome singer. I love listening to her. That's one of the things I do. I love listening to Les Brown. Everyone that knows me knows that I'm a Les Brown girl. I love listening to Les Brown. He really, really, really motivates me. He really lifts my spirits because his talks are very funny and you laugh and it picks me up. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to work for you. You need to find what works for you. Everything works for different individuals in different ways. That's what works for me. That's some of the things that works for me. So find what it is that works for you. When you're going through your challenge, find what works for you. But don't just lie there and just cry and I'm going through my challenge, I'm going through my pain. No. Find what it is that works for you, that can bring you back from that negative place to that positive place that you need to be. To take your mindset from the negative things and bring your mindset to the positive things. Because in life, we're all going to go through difficulties. We all know that. Great. So as I'm moving on, I had one of my awesome speakers. I don't know if she's still listening. I can't see who is still watching. But Michelle Raymond. She's going to want to be one of the speakers at Women Be. So for those of the women that are watching, please do come out to Women Be. This year marks our first year anniversary and there are going to be many prizes and surprises, and I've used this week and last week to be getting in a lot of little things for people, and I'm feeling very chuffed. You know why? It was a challenge that brought this vision to reality. Wow. Imagine, and I'm speaking about challenge. It was a challenge that brought Women Be into reality. And for some of you, you know my story. You know that I've went through domestic abuse. You know that I had suicidal attempts. You know all of that. I don't need to get into that tonight. But it was those challenges that brought that gave birth to Women Be. Because I was saying to myself, there's so many women out there going through challenges, and they have so much potential, but they just can't seem to find a way to create the life that they want to desire and all of that. And that's what gave birth to Women Be. So great. So Women Be will be on the 17th of June, and it will be at the Rowan's Function Suite in North London, immediately across the road from Finsbury Park train station. And we have some discounted tickets on sale at the moment. Because it's an anniversary, I thought, you know what, why not offer some discounted tickets? So we have some discounted tickets, and guys, £10. £10, that's what it is, £10. Some discounted tickets for £10. So I do look forward to seeing you guys celebrate with me on that day. We have Michelle Raymond. We have Rosalind Bell. She is a property guru and she's doing a lot out there in properties. This woman is amazing. Michelle, as you know, she's awesome. I don't know if you've seen Michelle speak, but she's awesome. I have Elizabeth Altini coming in, Angelica Brookster coming in. I have Carol Fossey coming in, and she's all about social media marketing, how you can use social media to create your brand, to get your business out there. And have I forgotten anybody? Yes, I have. Danny Bletner is coming. You know, Danny is an amazing book publisher. She's helping people to get their stories out there. So do come in. Men, we've not forgotten you. We had our men empowerment event last month, but what we will be having, and it will be coming up very soon, and my brother and I are working on it. We're actually going to be combining the events. We're going to be combining Men Empowerment Network and combining Women Be before the end of the year, bringing all the great men and women together. So I will give you more information about that at a later date. And by the way, if any of you that are either speakers, authors, or you have products and services that you don't mind giving as a form of contribution towards Women Be, I would be very grateful, because I would love to be giving out a lot of things for people out there. So if you have anything that you would like for me to give out on that day, please do inbox me. If you have a book, if you have services that you want to give discounted tickets on, if you have an event you want to give me a free ticket that I can give it to someone as a gift, I would gladly accept some of those stuff, because we're going to have raffles, surprises, and it's going to be an awesome day. So please do come out. I look forward to your support. I cannot do this on my own. I need your support, guys. And thank you for all of you that tuned in, and for all of you that enjoyed this video. And if you think that is helpful, do share it. And it's all about the steps that you need to take to overcome challenges. Have a lovely weekend, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye.